Hey everyone, how's it going? Anita here, and I have some 2024 releases for you that I would like to talk to you about. My anticipated releases are for authors I have read from before. With new authors, I usually don't, but authors I've read before, I'm usually anticipating their books a little bit more than new books releasing in 2024 from authors that I don't really know. The first one is coming out on my birthday, and I cannot believe it. The apparent release date is January 9th, my birthday, and is such a good birthday present for me. The Atlas Complex, the book 3 in the Atlas trilogy, proposed trilogy. It's apparently going to be a trilogy by Olivia Blake. And I say it's apparently a trilogy because I don't know if there's going to be more. It depends on how this trilogy ends. And it follows 6 students who are invited to this prestigious and secretive society called the Alexandrian Society. There's a lot of ancient wealth, a lot of ancient knowledge power in the secretive society. Out of these 6 students, only 5 will survive to get this power. February 1, we have The Fury by Alex Michaelides. This book takes place on a small Greek island. Lana Farah, I think that's her name. Yeah, Lana Farah is a movie star. She invites her friends over onto this Greek island for a little holiday. They catch up, they hang out, they chit-chat, they relax, and they let out some hidden truths as well. The island is not what it seems, and neither is Lana, because people start getting picked off one by one. I think people start murdering, and I've heard it has Glass Onion vibes, and I really enjoyed Glass Onion as a movie. The first one, Knives Out, I thought it was fine, but Glass Onion, oh wow, I really enjoyed that. And just small island vibes and just murder. Like, you can't run anywhere on this small island, so what's gonna happen? I don't know. But if it's kind of like similar to Glass Onion, does that mean it's going to be predictable though? I really don't know now that I think about it. February 15, we have The Voice of the Wretched, which is the second book in the Court of Miracles trilogy, I'm assuming, I'm not entirely sure, by Kester Grant. I really don't know anything about this other than it is a sequel, and I don't even know if I can get this in ebook, because it only just has the audiobook, and I can't do audiobooks. It bores me too much, audiobooks. So I don't know how I'm going to go about reading this book. This book is set in an alternate reality to Paris, and it's a loose kind of retelling of Les Mis about failed rebellions. It's dark. I really enjoyed it. It is apparently a fantasy, but with the fantasy that I'm used to reading, I don't know what the fantasy elements are, other than it has some little mini similarities to the Nevernight trilogy. And when I say the Nevernight trilogy, I mean like the different guilds and stuff like that, with like the Poison's Master, the Assassins, and all that kind of stuff. February 20, we have Visions of Flesh and Fire, which is a companion novel to the From Blood and Ash and a Fire and the Flesh and Fire series by Jennifer L. Armentrout and Raven Salvador. It is a companion novel, like I have said, it's a companion novel, and it has a lot, and oh, that's right, it's told from Miss Willa. If you know who Miss Willa is, she's the author of a little red book that Poppy has, and it's quite a steamy little red book. It's Miss Willa's diary and her sexual adventures with different people. There's apparently going to be short stories, there's some history, art, reference materials, and some never before seen visual enticements, and I'm all here for that. This compendium also is said to act like a research material, but it reads like a journal and cache of personal notes, and will allow us as the reader to revisit some of the characters and the history that we love, yet view things in a different way. This one I'm really excited for. Empire of the Damned Book 2 in the Empire of the Vampire series, which is a trilogy, I believe, by Jay Kristoff. I've heard it's going to be a 5-book series, then I've heard it's going to be a 3-book series, so I think it's a trilogy. And oh god, okay, so just the way that the first book ended off, I need the sequel right now. So it's been 27 years since the last sunrise, and the vampires have pretty much waged war against humanity. They can run around at nighttime now, and it's nighttime constantly. There's no more sunrise at all. Gabriel de Leon is half monster and half man. He is the last remaining Silver Saint, and the Silver Saint are these people that go around slaying vampires. And a Silver Saint is a sworn brother of the Holy Silver Order. He is imprisoned by the monsters that he is said to destroy, and he is pretty much forced to tell his story because he knows the whereabouts of this Holy Grail, I believe. The Holy Grail is said to be humanity's last hope. On March 19, we have The Woods All Black by Lee Mandello, and I think Lee Mandello really excels in short novella, like short story kind of books. I have read Summer Sons. I enjoyed it. I thought it was like a really interesting take on like a haunted house kind of thing. I read Feed Them Silence by this author, and Feed Them Silence was a fantastic. It was short and it was done very well. I really loved that one. This one, The Woods All Black, is equal parts historical horror, trans romance, and blood-soaked revenge. It is set in the 1920s Appalachia and is a story of passion, prejudice, and power, an Appalachian period piece that explores reproductive justice and bodily autonomy, the terrors of small-town religiosity, and the necessity of fighting tooth and claw to live as you truly are. I'm not looking forward to the small-town religious bullshit crap, but I'm really hoping that there's transgender characters in here. It kind of seems like it. I'm hoping that they really fight back in here. Another book on March 19 is Expiration Dates by Rebecca Surley. This one follows Daphne. She mysteriously receives these letters, these slips of paper with men's names on them, and also a number next to it, like just say Damon, a week, and that will be the man she meets and the length of time that their relationship will last. After having these rounds of dates for like quite a while, she receives a slip of paper with just a man's name and no expiration date on the relationship. So is this man gonna be her love forever? But apparently Daphne is hiding something that could break Jake's heart, and Jake is the man that does not have an expiration date next to his name. April 1, we have The New Couple in 5B by Lisa Unger. So, a couple inherits an apartment with spine-tingling past. Rosie and Chad make ends meet in New York City. They receive life-changing news. Chad's late uncle has left them his luxurious apartment at the historic Windermere in glorious Murray Hill. There is a dark history lurking behind its perfectly maintained facade, one that no one would suspect. At first, the tenants in the building could not feel more welcoming towards Rosie and Chad, but then weird stuff starts happening. The doorman is ever present, there are cameras everywhere, and there are so many gruesome crimes that have occurred there throughout the years. One of the neighbors turns up dead, and Rosie has to get to the truth before it is too late. April 11, The Gathering by C.J. Tudor, another book I'm really excited for. It is a small Alaskan town, a missing boy, a brutal murder, a detective brought in from out of state to assist the former sheriff who investigated a similar murder 25 years ago. But are they hunting a twisted psychopath or something even more terrifying? Oh, well, that sounds like it has some sort of supernatural element into it. I'm really excited for that. I am a bit of a C.J. Tudor stan, bit of a fangirl. I have 2 more books to read from this author that I'm pretty much caught up. April 23, we have Funny Story by Emily Henry. It is a shimmering, joyful new novel about a pair of opposites with the wrong thing in common. There it follows Daphne. Again, isn't there like another Daphne? Oh yeah, and expiration dates. Looks like Daphne is the new name in romance books. Daphne has always loved the way her fiancé Peter has told their story about how they met each other, right up until the moment that Peter, Daphne's fiancé, realizes he still has feelings for his childhood best friend, Petra. And Petra has a fiancé as well, an ex-fiancé called Miles. Daphne and Miles are in a bit of a sticky situation. Their life has been uprooted a little bit. They end up living together as roommates, and I think they're like polar opposites. Yeah, they're like completely opposites to one another, and they try their best to avoid one another. One day they drown their sorrows and they form a tenuous friendship and plan. And so their plan involves them deliberately posting misleading photos of their summer adventures together. That sounds like a fake dating trope. They're definitely going to get together because it's like the saying, opposites attract. So they're going to get together by the sounds of it. May 7, Born of Blood and Ash. It is the 4th book in the Flesh and Fire series by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and it is the last one in the series. Like I've talked about the series before, Sarah and her city is in trouble. Her lands cannot grow anything, and anything that does try to grow is slowly being consumed by the rot. Sarah's ancestors made a deal with the Primal of Death to make Sarah become the consort to the Primal of Death. However, the Primal of Death does not know that Sarah's mission is to make the Primal of Death fall in love with her so that she can kill him, because they believe, the people in the mortal realm believe, that the Primal of Death is the reason why the rot is happening. And if she fails her mission, she dooms her kingdom to an eternity of the rot. June 4, Tidal Creatures, which is the third book in the Alchemical Journeys by Seanan McGuire. I need to read the second one. I need to play a bit of a catch up with this series. I think there's going to be 2 more books after this third one, I believe, or 3 more books, I can't remember. So the third book is a follow-up to Middle Game and Seasonal Fears, which is the second one. It is hard to explain this one, and I don't know what is spoiler and what isn't. There's gods. There are these gods that are incarnated into the human world. So the god's job is to cross the sky above the impossible city, which is the heart of all creation, and to try and keep it connected to reality. But someone is killing them off. There are so many of them that a few disappearances can go unnoticed and slip through the cracks. It sounds like a murder mystery. I'm gonna have to read the second one to try and catch up. I got until June 4. Sounds really good, actually. July 2, Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. One night in July, 10-year-old Ethan and his best friend Billy fall asleep together in a tent. Ethan woke up alone, saw that the tent was sliced open, and Billy was gone and never seen again. Ethan reluctantly returns to his childhood home. He is plagued by insomnia and bad dreams. He begins to notice some strange occurrences in the middle of the night as someone is roaming the cul-de-sac at odd hours, and signs of Billy's presence keep appearing in his backyard. Ethan is forced to investigate what really happens that night, a quest that leads him into the quiet woods surrounding Hemlock Circle, where a mysterious institute enacts secret research on a crumbling estate. That sounds so much like Stranger Things, and that is really what is intriguing me with this book. The closer Ethan gets to the truth, the more he realizes that no place, even the quietest of suburban streets, is completely safe, and that the past has a way of haunting the present. My last 2 anticipated releases for the first half-ish of the year: The Seventh Veil of Salome, I believe that's how you pronounce the name, by Silvia Moreno Garcia. It sounds like it's about actresses, and a young woman wins the role of a lifetime when she gets to play the part of Salome. And it's 1950s Hollywood. Every actress wants to play Salome, the star-making role in a big-budget movie about the legendary woman whose story has inspired artists since ancient time. So the director of the film casts an unknown actress to play the lead role of Salome. The unknown Mexican actress is Vera Loroyos. I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologize. As the lead, and becomes talk of the town, and it like spreads like wildfire because this unknown actress playing the role of Salome is pretty much unheard of, because normally it would go for someone who's a little bit more well known. And that actress, Nancy Hartley, is envious of Vera because she believes that she has the right to that role. I'm assuming Nancy is a little bit more of a known actress than Vera. And it also tells the story of Princess Salome herself, consumed with a desire for the fiery prophet who foretells the doom of her stepfather Herod, a woman torn between the decree of duty and the yearning of her heart. Sounds like it's going to follow 3 different perspectives, and I'm really hoping I enjoy this one. September 10 is a book that does really not need to happen. Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which is the second book in the House on the Cerulean Sea series, now apparently by TJ Klune, and I don't think there needs to be a second book. The first one wrapped it up pretty nicely. Excuse the clutter in the background. The first one wrapped it up nicely. The first one was... September 10 has a book that does not need to happen. Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which is the apparent second book in the House in the Cerulean Sea series, now apparently by TJ Klune. It really doesn't need to happen. Am I still going to read it? Yes. The first book, The House in the Cerulean Sea, was already its own contained story. Like, it was a standalone book. I don't know why it needs to be a series. It doesn't need to happen. This one apparently, what's his name again? It has the same characters in the first book. I think there's like a new kid in this orphanage, I think now. Follows Arthur. And we already got a little bit of his backstory in the first one, and it's just... Arthur has to try and save the orphanage once again because of his past decisions, his past choices. If you know Arthur's background from the House in the Cerulean Sea, you know, well, where I'm going with it. Yeah, he and Arthur is called upon to make a public statement about his dark past. It doesn't need to happen, but I'm still going to read it either way. Okay, so now that we've gone through it all, I would have to say my most anticipated, like I'm anticipating all of these. I'm excited for all of these. The ones I'm like really wanting in my hands right now is Empire of the Damned, The Woods All Black, and The Gathering. Like, I just love those authors and I need those books right now. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Like, are you hyped for any of these books? What other books are you hyped for? I think this year is going to be like a really good year for reading. And I'm hoping to make a part 2 about all the other books that will be coming out that I'm anticipating in the second half of the year. I'll try and do that as well. Thank you for watching. If you have any anticipated releases, let me know what they are, and I will see you in another video. Bye for now.